Hi, I'm May. So, my friend decided to start a cyberpunk roleplay campaign called Lifeblood. Basically, the general gist of it is that there are these two separate districts, the Underbelly and the Sky City, which I feel like their names are self-explanatory, with general themes of, like, there's a rebellion, there's androids, robot prosthetics, and general, like, those cyberpunk themes of, like, bad government, yada yada, yeah. So I was like, well, cool, I should start making a character. I love cyberpunk settings. And so at first I just tried to freehand it with a general concept of what I wanted, which was like a delivery driver, and like maybe there was some sort of like smuggler or vandalist. Didn't really go too well for me. I hated what I was doing. I thought it looked really bad. I decided to take a step back, think about what I wanted, and I decided to start sketchbooking, just some general ideas, and I did a lot of that, but I have unfortunately lost a majority of the paper I did it on because I just finished a sketchbook, but I hadn't quite started a new one yet, so I was in this weird limbo space where I was drawing on any loose paper I could find, which was susceptible to being lost. So I decided to go back to the drawing board. What do I want to convey, and how do I want to convey it? So there was 3 general things I knew I wanted. I wanted them to be a street artist, I wanted them to be a delivery driver, and I needed to keep in mind their cyberpunk setting. This character would probably be interacting with both the Sky City and the Underbelly due to their profession as a delivery driver. So I decided on a general baggy silhouette with loose clothing to hide in, prosthetic ears, and a very, very loose Chinese inspiration. So, starting with the artist stuff. I decided with a mask because, well, since they're a street artist, they probably would want to hide their identity a little bit. A little beret cap thingy. I just generally associate this with artists, and I feel like a lot of people do. There's also this yellow belt thing that I was originally planning to put stripes on, like caution tape, as if they were at a crime scene, but I decided that it would be a little bit too much, so it's just kind of some nice yellow loose things. I think it would be fun if this was animated for them to be flying in the wind when they are moving, running away, or on their motorcycle, which they have. We'll get to that later. I also gave them a messenger bag because I feel like a lot of artists can relate. We need big bags that put our stuff in. Tablets, it's paint palettes, sketchbooks, you kind of need those sort of bigger bags for it. As for their identity as a delivery driver, I gave them gloves, hoodie, boots, and loose pants with pockets because, of course, you need pockets. The hoodie is, of course, because if it rains, they can just put the hood on and it would be a-okay. The gloves are good because since they're riding a motorcycle, they kind of need those. The motorcycle, of course, is because they're a delivery driver and make sure they can get around easily, as well as not being as expensive or cumbersome as a car can be. I also think they could use this if they ever need to escape from their dastardly deeds at the last minute because they hear a police car coming. Onto the colors. I decided on a sort of blue, pink, and yellow color palette as for their splash of colors amongst black and white and gray. 3 colors would be hard to put together if they were all main colors, so they're all kind of accent colors. And why these 3 colors specifically is because artists usually use these colors, or cyan, magenta, and yellow, as their primary colors, because it's actually the colors that you're able to mix together to get all the colors, while the regular red, blue, and yellow color palette wouldn't actually be able to get us some of the more vibrant colors we want. Originally, I wanted majority black clothes, but I realized that would add a lot of confusion and also boring. It would be really boring, So I decided to add some whites to it as well, and also would be helpful to kind of show this duality in them as they both interact with the Sky City and the Underbelly. That leads us to our character's backstory. Song was a sickly kid of nebulous chronic condition, which was worsened already by bad environmental factors since they grew up in the Underbelly. Since he didn't really have a lot of energy to get up and do more active things, and he was in the hospital a lot, he ended up drawing. It was also a way of expressing himself during this dark time since his parents didn't exactly have a lot of money to fund his healthcare. He started posting these and they kind of went viral. I imagine it was sort of a story, a news story of sorts, where it's like, look at this poor sickly kid making great art. And so people, being what they are, they started funding this kid, setting up a GoFundMe, and he ended up winning scholarships, and it all became enough for him and his family to move to the Sky City, where he was able to get more proper medical treatment, figure out a prescription that would actually help him, and start actually living. However, this had a downside. Song realized that these people weren't actually interested in what he had to say in his art. They were only really interested in his story, this romantic capitalist story of a kid getting out of there because of his own talent. He realized people didn't actually care about him, his personality. His parents got blinded by the success. He cared about keeping that success and never having to go back. Song decided to leave. It grew too much. They went back down to the underbelly. They left their identity, and it seems that they had vanished, at least to the public. Song went down, back to the underbelly, and began their career as a delivery driver, which was really only to make ends meet, as they decided to become a street artist to be able to express what they wanted instead of people judging their art based on their reputation and who they think they are, instead of by the art itself. It's harder now, of course, with them not making nearly as much money as they used to, as you can't exactly sell street art, and delivery driver money isn't that great. They do go between the Sky City and the underbelly, but to them it's better than living as an idea rather than an artist. And that's that. Of course, that's where their story stops for now, as, well, we haven't even started the campaign yet, but I'm really excited to play them. This is by far the most work I've put into a player character design yet, but I had a lot of fun, honestly, which is partially due to the fact that I love cyberpunk aesthetics. I hope you enjoyed the video. I created this in a bit of a fugue state, but I hope you enjoyed. I don't know, leave a like, subscribe, that fun stuff. Okay, bye!